Right, morning Oliver. This is your rebuilt gearbox. I finished it this afternoon. So yeah, um, the speedo drive, you'll need to remove that from your own tail shaft. The engine the gearbox mountings, I've put you two new mountings on them. I had them. I've had them in stock for quite a while, so I've put you them on. I'll just include that in the normal price. There was only a few quid to buy anyway, so yeah, you've got that. I've left you the bolts and washers that fasten it to the mounting bracket, and inside there's also what you'll also find in the tape to the gearbox inside. Will you remove your two? You can either leave your. Well, I'll tell you what, Oliver. I'm including you two in this packet here. You'll find there's two. There's an oil fill and an oil drain plug. So leave your two in because obviously it'll make less mess when it's being shipped. So leave yours in and I'll include you two there to replace it. That seal came with the kit. I haven't used one of those yet because all my gearboxes are the scroll type, so I don't use that kit. So you've got that. You've also got the gearbox casing to bell housing gasket included. That's in there for you, along with the they was at the other end of the engine mountings. I don't know if they actually connect somewhere to the mounting bracket, but you've got them anyway. They came with the gearbox mountings. All the gears select nicely. Remove your gear stick. We don't need the gear stick. I just keep a gear stick to test the gears. Now, Oliver, what you need to remember, and it's quite important on this gearbox, I tell everybody the same advice. You'll see on here there's a piece of duct tape that I've put on there. That there holds the selector forks into the gearbox case. It runs along the top edge along here, and it butts up against the bell house, about against the tail shaft here. Now if you try and change gear without the bell housing on, it'll push this shaft out, and that's just to remind you, don't put your gear lever in and change gears. Don't do that, because it's not a disaster, but it'll mean that you've got to take the top off and then just realign that up and push it in. The best option is don't select any gear. Once you've got the bell housing on, it won't make any difference because the bell housing holds that pin in. So that's just to bear that in mind, Oliver. And if you're not refitting it yourself, will you mention that to your mechanic as well when you drop the gearbox off? Wait until the bell housing's on, then you can select the gears at random whenever you want. The bearings on the internals have all been lubed with assembly lube, so that if you see any little weep in here, it's just what's coming out of the assembly lube, but they have been lubed, as of all the parts. You've got your new reverse idler in there, your new first gear and your new third gear. I've drawn up something for you. That, I mean, if you send me your email address, Oliver, I can, well look, if you just reply to this, oryxdriver@gmail, if you give me your email, I can forward you this invoice and a breakdown of what I've done. What you can see, Oliver, I've amended the charge from 450, and all I've done, Oliver, is I've added on the cost to me of the parts that I've used. So there was £49.99 for the reverse idler. A new third gear cost me £36. The first gear was £34.74. Those are the prices that I buy them at, and if you look on eBay now, you'll see them, or one of the gearbox gear things manufacturers, you'll find that that's the price that they are to me. They've probably gone up now anyway, but you'll need to fill the gearbox with the correct oil before use in the vehicle. That's pretty self-explanatory, Oliver. And the reason I don't put the drain plug or the filler plug in is because I want you to make sure that you'll remind yourself, there's the plugs, I need to put oil in it. Don't put engine oil in this gearbox. It was the earlier gearboxes on the 1275 midgets with the A series engine in. You need the EP80 or 90. I just can't remember offhand what it is. I think it's EP80 or EP90. You'll get the spec for the oil either in the manual or off the internet. And that's self-explanatory. You're shipping your gearbox to me anyway, so I mean I'm assuming that your gearbox is going to be all right, apart from it just wanting a rebuild. Sometimes you get them sent. And these pins are broken off, and it means a bit of engineering to get them put back in and things. I've had them where the tail shaft's been cracked, yeah. All this gearbox, actually, you're not far off for your car, because this is out of a 78, I think Nick's was an 80. I think Nick's was an 80 midget, although it had the 78 gearbox. So this gearbox was quite low mileage anyway. So you've really dropped lucky on this one, Oliver, because it's nearly a direct replacement, and it's a really good gearbox, this one. So I'm quite happy with this one to ship you. You've only got to remember about that. You also got to remember, Oliver, you've got your 3 springs to go in there. Make sure you put those in. What those 3 springs do, they push a thrust washer up against the idler, up against the lay gear, and they keep the thrust washer tight up against the lay gear to stop the lay gear moving about. There is a few, maybe a millimetre plate in it until you put those springs in. The bell housing then presses up against those. Those are the long springs. You push them in there. That presses the thrust washer up against the lay gear, just in case you wondered what they do. So there's that. Everything's good on the gearbox. It's ever so tight. It's a lovely tight gearbox, and you know, it's going to be as good as a brand new gearbox. This, I would think you wouldn't find anything different. You've got your new Bork rings in it. So there you go, Oliver. I'll let you get in touch with me again, and let me know what your proposals are for shipping yours over to me. Like I said, if you copy me into your email, I'll send you a copy of this. You can read through it, and I'll send you a text with my bank details on, and we can get that sorted out. So thanks very much for your purchase, Oliver. I appreciate that. And remember me, if you come across anybody who mentions about gearboxes for these midgets, or you go to a show or anything, will you just let me know, and then you know, I'm happy to rebuild a gearbox for anybody. Okay, Oliver, thank you.